Hello, friends. Today I'm going to talk to you about a famous scientist named Albert Einstein. I'm going to read to you a little bit about his life, and then we're going to talk about one of his theories that he developed and performed experiments to try to test to find out if his theory was true. It's called the theory of relativity. And the story will explain what that means, and I'll show you an example myself. Who was Albert Einstein? Many people call Albert Einstein the greatest scientist of all time. He's the most famous for his theory of relativity. Einstein discovered that when an object moves, it becomes shorter and heavier. He also realized that time flows more slowly for a moving object. But you can't notice these changes unless the object is moving thousands of miles per second. The theory that explains these effects is called the theory of relativity. It takes many years of study to fully understand the theory of relativity. However, we can all grasp parts of the theory and get to know Einstein a little bit better. Einstein was born on March 14, 1879, in the small town of Ulm, Germany. His father, Hermann Einstein, was a businessman. His mother, Pauline Koch Einstein, loved music and was a fine pianist. Both parents were Jewish and also proud Germans. When Albert was only 1 year old, his family moved to Munich, which was a much bigger German city. His sister Maria, nicknamed Maya, was born there in 1881. Albert's parents worried a great deal about their son. As an infant and toddler, he looked odd. His head seemed too large for his body, and he was shy and quiet. Most of the time, he played by himself. Albert did not speak until he was about 3 years old. That's a little bit late. Some say that his first words were, "The soup is too hot." When asked why he had not spoken before, it's said that he replied, "Up to now, everything has been fine." One time, Albert's mother asked him to play with his sister Maya. Albert thought that she was some sort of toy and asked, "Yeah, but where are its wheels?" Speech continued to be a problem while Albert was growing up. When asked a question, he often mumbled the words to himself a few times. Then he thought a while before giving an answer. His slow way of speaking made some people think that he was not very smart. But that's not true. When Albert was 5 years old, his dad gave him a compass. The young boy found the compass amazing. No matter how he twisted or turned it, the needle always pointed north. Albert asked his father why this was so, and his father said that the earth is like a giant magnet. Its force is all around. We can't see it or feel it, but it pulls the compass pointer to the north, along with every other magnet in the world. The compass raised lots of questions for Albert. How does this hidden force reach the compass? Do other things have hidden forces behind them? Einstein spent the rest of his life trying to answer these similar questions. When he was about 6 years old, Einstein's mother bought her son a violin. She also hired a music teacher to give him lessons. At first, the boy was not too happy to have to practice every day, but soon he came to love the violin. He even began to enjoy practicing. The young Albert played duets with his mother and would play the violin while she would accompany him on the piano. At the age of 6, Albert entered a Catholic elementary school. He did not enjoy it. The other boys teased him because he was the only Jewish child in his class. Some did not like him because he would not play sports. Also, his teachers thought he was rude because he asked too many questions. There's no such thing as too many questions. At home, his parents gave Albert books to read. They urged him to ask questions. Eager to learn more, Albert taught himself advanced math. He also tried to understand the world better. For example, he wondered about light. What would it be like to travel on a beam of light? Can anything go faster than light? When Albert grew up, he started working at a patent office. At a patent office, people who have made something brand new write up a document, a piece of paper that says, hey, I made this thing, so nobody else can say that they made it. And that is called a patent. While Einstein worked at the patent office, he wrote what he called a special theory of relativity. Relativity is a way of looking at something compared to something else. Einstein worked out his theory of relativity with all kinds of thought experiments. Here's a thought experiment to help you understand relativity. Imagine that you're standing at a train station and you see a train speed by. Compared to you, or relative to you, the train is going very fast. Now, imagine you're in a car moving in the same direction and at the same speed as the train. Relative to you, the train is standing still. That's relativity.
If I stay in one spot and Jack runs by fast, it looks like he's moving forward quickly. But if we walk side by side, it kind of looks like he's staying in the same spot and only the background is moving.
Even before he was proved right, Einstein became world famous. He got a job as a professor of physics in Switzerland. Students loved his simple way of explaining difficult ideas. He lectured and visited universities all over Europe. In 1913, Einstein was offered a university job in Germany. His only duty was to think about his ideas. But there was one big problem. His wife did not want to leave Switzerland. She stayed there with their two sons, Edward and Hans Albert. Einstein moved to Berlin alone. After a while, he and his wife got divorced. Later, Einstein got married again. This time he married his cousin. That was not as strange back then. His cousin's name was Elsa, and she lived in Germany. Elsa did her best to take good care of Albert, but still he often chose to wear wrinkly clothes that did not fit, and when he refused to wear socks, he said, "I am old enough to do what I want." Since he rarely had haircuts, his hair always looked wild. In 1921, Einstein traveled to the United States. His purpose was to raise money for a Jewish homeland. When he arrived in New York, thousands of people were on hand to greet him. There was a huge parade. The president invited him to the White House. That year, he won the Nobel Prize for Physics. We remember Einstein as one of the most outstanding thinkers of all time. He was the first to realize that space, time, and length are all relative. They don't always stay the same. We also remember Einstein because he used his fame to help people. He worked hard for peace, justice, and freedom. Einstein stated the theory of relativity and made many other scientific discoveries, but that doesn't mean that he never made any mistakes. Einstein said, "Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried something new." We should all remember that.